I'm excited to introduce Dr. Alison Kay as one of our transformative summit speakers. Dr. Alison brings over 2 decades of experience in mind body energy medicine, blending ancient wisdom from her time in Asia with innovative approaches to healing and personal growth. She's widely celebrated for her vibrational upgrade system, a method that combines energy work, chakra alignment, holistic practices to help clients break through financial and personal blocks. Dr. Allison's journey is fascinating. She moved to Taiwan to learn how ancient energy practices could amplify her clients' results. During a decade in the East, she immersed herself in traditional Chinese practices, Qigong, yoga, meditation, which led her to master subtle energy techniques. Her 3M, Magic, Manifestation, and Money Flow program, is now a standout in energy healing, helping clients shift into vibrant abundance, particularly in financial matters. Dr. Alison, thank you so much for coming on the summit and speaking with us today.
It is absolutely my honor and pleasure. Thank you, Daniel. And I just want you all to know that Daniel and I actually already did a recording of this interview, and it for some reason the tech failed, and so here we are bringing forth something different. It feels like for what you're going to actually receive in the summit, and so this is how much Daniel in the summit is such an important topic, that I'm here a second time doing this, and same with Daniel. It's important that we get this to you. So buckle up and sit back and relax.
Fantastic. I'm so excited to interview you because, as you know, I've been following you for many years. I'm a big fan of yours. I want to first ask you, as you know, the theme of the summit is from silence to self-mastery, finding your voice and purpose. Can you share exactly what does that mean to you, from your personal experiences and your journey? Like, what is your take on that?
So one of my specialties is the chakra system. And I just want to throw this out there. You know, those yoga poses we all do in yoga class so that we focus on the body, downward facing dog. So yoga traditional has like 8 limbs, the 8 limbs of yoga. Only one of them is the body postures. 5 of the 8 of them is about working with our consciousness and the mind, including how that flows or doesn't in our chakra system. So the Chinese, but that was when I was in India. The Chinese part is the flow of energy. That's where I learned a lot of that. So I can considered one of the specialists in the chakra system, and I have a very unique take on it because I'm also a personal trainer. I'm very much about embodying it into the material life, having the spirit infused and help us in our material life, not to go up and out of our head and connect with unconditionally loving angels or only be focused on the material plane, but to truly bring it, because energy is before matter. So the 5th chakra, yeah, it's so interesting, your naming of this summit, from silence to self-mastery. You didn't go from silence to speaking up for yourself with more ease, or from silence to claiming what you desire with more ease. You went from silence to self-mastery as if there's an equation, which is super interesting because the 5th chakra is all about communication. Sure, anybody who knows the chakra system has a sense of, oh, that's the throat, that's where we talk from, that's going to be the one about communication. So some of that is, I perceive I'm not heard, blocks it. I perceive I'm heard, opens it. If you've been lied to a lot, it blocks it. If you lie a lot, it blocks it. So obviously communication stuff, but around like 2015, 14, I started to understand, as we're in this new time, 2012 to 2032, humanity, what's considered humanity's greatest evolutionary leap, I started to understand that the 5th chakra is indeed the second power center of the chakra column, the traditional 7 chakra column, because there's actually a 12 chakra system that we're not going to get into. So a traditional power center is the solar plexus, which many of you know, the 3rd. But I say the 5th is the second power center for these times because choice is there. And the majority of my work is at what I call the back of the house consciousness, clearing the hidden blocks you don't hear in your self-talk, you don't get to in talk therapy, you don't get to in analysis or coaching, because that's all at the intellectual level. At the unconscious and subconscious level are blockages that create the self-talk we do here. And science estimates at 85%. I say from all this work with, I don't know how many thousands of people I've worked at this point, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands with all the audiences throughout the years. The 95% mark is actually more accurate, that we make our daily choices from thoughts we don't even hear, meaning our choices are robotic. And in order to create a new life and move more into self-mastery and more into empowered co-creator, it's the throat chakra. So yeah, communication is the first level of it, but the second more advanced level to the throat chakra is the courage and the capacity to make new choices. And there is a lot involved with that. You've got to be able to see and perceive beyond your current living. You've got to be able to see and perceive something else is possible. You've got to have the courage to choose it. You've got to have the courage to follow through on it. So there's this connection from a closed down throat chakra where you may be silent to self-mastery. From silence to self-mastery, the name of this summit. So I just find it beautiful that you named it this, because it's not, I'm the only one talking about the fifth chakra like this and about choices as a part of our subtle energy system that's wired into our innate wiring.
Well, what does self-mastery mean to you?
You're not in competition with someone else, you're in competition with old versions of yourself in your life. And you can manage your mind. So we call it ego mind in Buddhist meditation, yeah? And so you have your self-talk that you do hear, but being able to assess that, okay, if I'm saying to everybody in my immediate circle, I want A, let's say it's a new car, and we're making these choices that are all about keeping the old car, not about ever looking for a new car. And in fact, we're making choices that diminish the money that we would use to buy the new car. We can see that my choices and thus my behavior are not allowing me for my desire new car. Hence, there's a block. So becoming aware of not only the necessity of managing your self-talk and pulling off of triggers and being able to have that sense of detachment that not only meditation, but frankly, the clearings and activations that I do are speed up the results of meditation, the positive benefits of meditation, so that you're detached sooner and able to observe your self-talk with more detachment, and then redirect your self-talk to the affirmative or the positive or the desire, so that because energy follows where our focus goes. Yeah. So then your energy starts to flow in the new direction of that new car, actually. So being able to observe your own self-talk that you do hear, and then be able to suss out, hey man, I must have a block here. I'm saying I want A, my behavior and choices are going not to A, to then get yourself the help you need to get the hidden blocks that you don't hear cleared so that you can evolve and grow. So managing your system, and with it also even energy hygiene, for example, like the way that we get our cars cleaned and our homes cleaned and we attend to the maintenance and we do all these errands for our home and our cars. It's the same with our consciousness and mind body spirit system. So having a sense of attention and focus too on your own mind body spirit system for its optimization is even what I would include in self-mastery.
Well, that's really amazing. I think self-mastery is so important, especially for people who that's what they're looking for. And I have a question to you, because like you keep talking about the chakras, and I think a lot of people in the audience, they may not know that much about chakras like you do. Can you
Sure.
kind of explain,
Yeah.
like, what is the connection or relationship between chakras and manifesting, especially things like abundance and money? Because I mean, I heard about the chakras like in the yoga class, and they just talked
Good.
about opening and closing or something like that. But I think most people in the audience, they're probably know very little about it. So can you explain to people in the audience, what is that connection between the chakras and manifesting?
Oh, such a great
Whatever it
question.
is. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a great question. Thank you. I can see why we did the re-record. Okay. So first off, that's great. You heard about chakras in your yoga class. I actually was asked by one of the local yoga studios during her yoga teacher training to come in and teach the Ayurvedic units in the training, as well as the chakra units in the training. And I've had another summit host say to me, you have the most unique individualized take on the chakra column. And I say that as a preamble. So keep that in mind. So every chakra itself, the word from Sanskrit to English means wheel. Chakra is an intersection of the mind, the body, and the spirit. You know how you see the symbol for a chakra? It looks like a Sanskrit letter,
Yeah.
and then it's surrounded by lotus petals. So like the root chakra has two lotus petals, the crown chakra has 1,000. Those petals are aspects that either help keep the chakra open and flowing prana or chi or ki or vital life force energy through it or not. So if the throat chakra, let's use it as an example, it's responsible for the domain of life that the throat chakra covers for the spirit and the mind, which I've already talked about, choice and above communication, and the body. So every chakra is correlated to a major endocrine gland. As well, a woman, Candace Pert, who's investigating some neurobiology for a pharmaceutical company for a new antidepressant, she knew of the chakra column and she noticed that the biggest gatherings of neuroreceptor sites that receive messaging from the neurotransmitters of our brain are all gathered at where the chakras are along the spinal column. So every chakra correlates to the body too, through the endocrine system, our chemical communication, and through the electrical system, our central nervous system, the neuroreceptors with the neurotransmitters. So those are our two main communication channels. So the chakra column is a way for me to be able to get in there and do work at the level of the mind, the level that means consciousness, all levels, unconscious, subconscious, conscious mind, the spirit, and that allows me to get to past life, that allows me to get to karma, and the body. That allows me to also get to not only the endocrine glands and the neuroreceptors, but it also allows me to get to the musculature. So if you have a tight neck, for example, a lot of the times it is because, not a lot of the times, it is because your throat chakra is not fully turning the vital life force energy, because when it does turn the vital life force energy, it keeps the musculature in that area fresh, the tissue fresh, vital life force energy. Yeah. So if you have a tight neck, a lot of the times it's indicative that, for example, you don't perceive you have a lot of choice in life, because that element of choice and being able to choose new possibilities is that second tier to the throat chakra. So if that aspect is closed down, or the cup and courage to make new choices is closed down, it's not able to turn as the wheel it is and flush out that area with vital life force energy. So the neck gets tighter. So that's a fundamental and advanced at the same time understanding of the chakra system. How does it affect manifestation? So it was interesting. When I created my magic manifestation and money flow signature program, I asked my guidance to show me what order, because the chakra, my signature product in my shop is the Chakra Attunement audio series. And I asked them to show me what order should I be giving this to people in the program to help them with manifestation. It wasn't root, second, third, fourth. It wasn't a concrete sequential ordering. It was a different ordering. And it was really intriguing to me, the ordering, and it made total sense once I looked at it. So you have to first be in your body, grounded with a sense of then your light is high enough to be able to emanate out. And with the chakras, all of them, when they're turning, they create a vortex. When they're fully open and turning, they create a vortex. And these vortices create your field. And your field is what communicates to the universe. So when it's perceiving, if you're saying, I want to have a new car, and there's parts of you that say, no, I doubt that I'm ever going to have the money for that. No, I don't deserve it. No, I have other bills I have to pay first. You're emanating out, I want a new car, but no. So paralysis happens. The desired manifestation doesn't happen because the universe hears your vibration, and your uncleared your uncleared unconscious and subconscious blocks. Again, the thoughts you do not hear in your conscious mind self-talk, which constitute, I say, 95% of what exists in people's consciousness that we want to create to be a lower percentage. So you're making more conscious choices. That unconsciousness and subconsciousness, those blockages, are what the universe hears. It doesn't hear the strong, vital, yes, I am open and ready to receive a new car. It hears it sort of, but then you deny it, but with the I'm not worthy of, I don't deserve it, I need to spend money elsewhere. So it kind of sort of hears it, But that's why manifestation takes so long if you're not doing the requisite clearing and activating work. So there are certain chakras more involved with manifesting than other chakras. I'm not going to give that away. I'm sorry. That's also too advanced as well for our talk right now. But knowing that when you're going to manifest, what gets read by the universe is your overall vibration. The more you can look at, I am saying I want A, and my behavior and choices are not showing that I'm going for A, and then get help, whether from me or someone else who does good work that actually creates change, that's going to help you manifest quicker. There's also an aspect of focus, and the less clear you are, the more easily you're distracted from your own self-talk, the more that it missignals out to the universe what you desire. So the stronger you can hold your focus on what you desire, that's also going to help you through the path of, okay, maybe I need to have an email come in that informs me about such and such, about buying a new car, that would help make it easier. And maybe I need to have another synchronicity come in that helps me see this car over there, and I need to actually open that email. So in order for you to follow the thread of your desired manifestation, you have to have a level of focus. And the more easily distracted you are by your own self-talk and less self-mastery you have, the harder it's also going to be for you to manifest. That's a start. How's that, Daniel?
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. You're definitely a wealth of information. I know we can probably talk for days on these subjects. So that's why I love talking with you, because
Weeks.
weeks,
Yeah.
months, years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you because you've been studying this for many years. I mean, that's why you went to Asia and all parts of the world to all this. So my next question to you is: a lot of people in the audience, you said like they may not have that clarity. They may not have found their voice or purpose. Can you maybe give some advice to people in the audience and how they can, get to have better clarity on what is their voice, what is their purpose? Do you have like any strategies, tools, first steps, anything like that that you can share to people to help them out? Like, if they feel really confused or stuck in their situation.
If you're really confused or stuck and don't have clarity, that's what you want me to address. Yeah.
Yeah.
First off, I want you to question if you're really confused and stuck and don't have clarity, because you are gaining information all the time from your intuition. It's just you're probably listening to the louder front of the head consciousness. Yeah. So if you look at, and I know a lot of people, it's so funny, even really at an advanced level when I'm working with clients and students who graduate out of magic, manifestation, money flow, and are invited, into my mastermind program, and they're training to do a version of what I do. They're still expecting their intuition to show up as like this big, incredible, like way that typically intuition doesn't show up. The intuition is a very soft voice, and it's like a parachute dropping in, or it's like a feather. Whereas the ego mind, which is what we call it in Buddhist meditation, the self-talk you do hear at the front of the mind, is loud. It's forceful, it's pushy, it can create you feeling bad about yourself, it can create you feeling low, heavy. Intuition is never going to make you feel like that. It's also not going to be forceful or pushy like the ego mind's thoughts are. So first, learning how to discern the intuitive voice, and then understand also the intuitive voice. So the Chinese and the Ayurvedic, which is the yoga culture, both believe the spirit resides in the heart chakra. So that also means intuitive information's coming into your heart. And what does that look like? Simply what uplifts you, simply what you get excited about or lighter about considering doing. That's intuitive information too, as in, yes, do that. When something you read as a new opportunity or possibility you could choose, you feel lighter about it. That's information intuitively too, to choose it. So that's why I started with answering Daniel's question with, hey, you're getting intuitive information all the time. I don't believe that you're blocked, because you can be unblocked in the next moment. Now, getting the help to actually choose what your guidance is suggesting, that's a territory I spend a lot of time in working with people. So I believe that you're getting the intuitive information, just learning how to allow yourself to hear it and perceive it more, and then having the self mastery to discipline. Mental management is what I call it, the ego mind out of its doubts that you do hear, so that you can tune in even more to your intuition and ask, okay, so if you're guiding me to, let's say, start a new income stream based on this passion of mine, this hobby, because whenever I do it, my heart's really light and I'm really juiced and I'm really excited. My energy is really flowing. I have a lot of good, vital life force. I must love doing that. What if I started a side gig of income stream of based on that? So instantly you might hear your mind go, ah, there's a gajillion people on Etsy already doing that. Okay, that's self-talk, right? That's doubt, right? So then you could actually work with your intuition and ask it a question. Okay, wow, I get it. So what would that look like if I were to turn this into an income stream? And then you kind of wait. You don't hear it instantly necessarily, but working with your intuition and asking when you become aware of the lightness or the inspiration or the excitement or a floater that comes in a quieter moment, like in the shower when you're outside in nature or laying in bed first thing in the morning, working with that guidance to get more information from it is another key area. So I don't believe that you're confused. I believe at any time you can choose clarity. Where the sticking point is, again, is taking the action, getting the courage to take the action steps. So you're no longer silent. You're no longer shushing your intuitive voice, your guidance that I've been listening to my whole life, and thank God for it. I just wrote that in my gratitude journal today. I am grateful for the strength of my intuitive guidance, this whole life of mine that just seems to lead me like breadcrumbs. Um, I'm just sitting here in a moment of gratitude because it's just I marvel at my guidance system and what it's guided me to see. Recently, I've had a huge breakthrough myself with seeing how so many different aspects of what I've created nowadays are based on who I have been in other lifetimes. That it's just I have no words. It's so humbling. Um,
So
like I
can I
go
ask? Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
want to
let
ask.
me finish
You
the
mentioned,
sentence
yeah,
actually, please. So when I'm on retreats, which is where I was in England when Daniel and I did the first record, and I had just finished retreats. So people who are training or up-leveling their vibrational upgrade practitioner certification meet me over there. And I, on the two more advanced levels, the Dragon Master level and Grand Dragon Master level, I take them to stone circles. Also at the second level, the master level, but we go to overnight trips to hit as many sacred sites as possible on the higher two levels with dragon in their name. And I have been training them as a part of their intuitive development, how to work with the ancient wisdom at these sites. And one of the things I just realized was this is how the goddess culture used to work in the BC era, that they would actually do the same thing. They would listen to the land and they would listen to the nature spirits and they would get information, and then they would create in their local area these sacred sites based on what they were hearing about where the ley lines may have met and where the power flows around a sacred spring or around a fault line. So that's an example. I didn't mean to just throw something out there without any backup, because I think that's a kind of challenging thing for people to hear. Somebody to sit here and say, I am amazed at my guidance system and how powerful I must have been in other lifetimes. What? So I just pieced this together because my guidance system is saying, should do this, go there. And I did it and went there and take others there and do that. So what's your question?
yeah, because you mentioned about like you're writing in a gratitude journal. Could that be maybe like an action step that people in the audience can do to help get more clarity and open themselves up to more abundance?
Yeah, I mean, I teach a writing technique I used to teach in the classroom when I was teaching English literature in my Magic Manifestation and Money Flow program. It's more than just journaling. I say just journaling because it is like that. I'll say this though. I around age 12 started to write in a journal. That wasn't this technique I'm talking about. And I learned that when I started to meditate at age, I think I was 19 or 20 when I first started meditating. I learned that what I had been doing all through my teens and was continuing to do with the journal writing was a way for me to hear my higher self. So absolutely yes, in answer to your question, a gratitude journal is a way to elevate your heart and heighten your vibration. So if you did I am grateful for, and then you just filled in a line, however small, medium, or large, that's gonna pen on paper starts you more so than typing. Pen on paper starts you with being able to loosen up hearing yourself because you're giving space for yourself to speak.
That's fantastic. That's really great advice. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks
And
for asking.
yeah, I know sometimes it may be a little bit hard because you're so advanced in so many levels to kind of like, talk
You.
to a broad range of an audience that are at different levels.
Daniel, thanks for saying that because sometimes in my YouTube videos, I like go off topic and the guy creating my shorts from the YouTube videos, he's like, Alison, if you could just stay with one thread. And I'm like, but I don't know if it's a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So I got to cover all bases on a video. So it is a juggle. So thanks for saying that.
Yes, you're welcome. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your like vibrational upgrade system and your program. I know you've been seeing like amazing results with some of your students. Can you share
Yeah.
maybe like some of your results with the people in the
Yes.
audience? Like, how's it helped them
Yes.
with a transformation or audience?
Yes.
I
All
can't
right.
wait to hear.
All right, so let's start with a woman who had a husband who had a lack mentality. She didn't. When I tuned into her system, she didn't have abundance as like I can tune into like I came back from Asia and people weren't ready to do holistic health and wellness and spiritual path workshops and receive it. So about 6 months in, I'm like, what's going on here? I heard, okay, it's from the market crash. Everybody's worried about money. I was tucked in Asia for the market crash. I actually increased my net cash income by 60% with that move as as teaching in the international school system and reduced my student loan debt for my master's to zero. So I came back here and I was like, okay. So I became unexpectedly proficient at clearing money blocks. Nowadays, I can tune into somebody's system and I can tell if abundance is meant to be an actual block for them or they're just like in lack habituation to the lack mentality. So I was tuning into this woman and this client and I said to her, "Hey, you don't have a problem with abundance. Actually, it's not meant to be one of your life lessons. So first, let's separate you more from your husband in the mind meld that you two are doing. Let's strengthen your own individual field, and then it was an aspect of increasing her confidence and her courage to speak out there more and be seen more with her new business. And she launched a new business and has been doing it ever since and makes good money at it. Another one, a woman who was working in a corporate marketing firm and it had taken her overseas. She had come back to the States and she was in the magic manifestation and money flow. And I intuited, hey, this photography thing you talk a lot about, it actually wants to be its own business. And at first she had a ton of resistance, like, no, oh my God, you kidding me? I don't want my own business. I don't want to do the marketing and photography. And then eventually she opened up her own, sorry for that tone, but it really felt like that when I heard it from her, all that resistance. Um, and she laughs at it nowadays too. She opened up a great business with the photography and made so much money. And then she and continues to make good money. And then came back to me for like a refresher after being in 3M a couple of years before years go by. She's in the photography business with her own business, making good money. And she has a session with me while she's in Hawaii, lying on the beach. And so I was like, okay, so here you are, a great having a good business here, a great business owner. And let's have you come out of that doing and building and forcing and making happen stage and let's see how you do with relaxing and allowing abundance to come in. So she did. She was on the beach in Hawaii. She made more money in that week than she ever had thus far in her business. Another woman, blind reflexologist out of the Midwest somewhere. And she wanted to get a scholarship she was going for to be able to open up to expand her business because it was at a baby steps. It really was only giving it away, wasn't yet charging for it. And so she wanted this grant or scholarship. I don't remember in this moment which one it was. And so while working with me in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, I helped her manifest it because that's the vibe in the whole program. I'm getting your back with desired manifestations, as well as you're learning the tools and having your system attuned to effective manifesting. And she opened up her own coaching business and began to make great money at it. The lack mentality can I actually have said recently, and I surprised that summit host by saying money blocks are one of the easier ones to clear. They really are, because so much of it is habituation and so much of it is a collective consciousness that you're tuning into and tapping into. There's deeper aspects to money blocks, like I'm unworthy, or others are more worthy of it than me, or oh my God, I'll have more to do and more responsibilities, but I can clear those, you know? So another example, a woman inherited the imprint from her father that business is hard, and it's a burden, and me providing for the family is a burden and it's serious. And so she was in this business and she was like that at her desk. One, she was spending way too much time at her desk and had no time for play or self-care. Two, her shoulders were hunched, or she was wearing her shoulders as earrings and feeling very serious and burdened about her business and had no fun and wasn't making good money. And so I got in, started working with her. She actually cleared that stuff I was just talking about and more, and shut that business down and took up a new business where it's a lot lighter for her and it's a lot more fun for her and she's making better money. Um, and that is interesting too, because there's some people who time freedom is more important for, and there's some people who money freedom is more important for. But to bring both of those together is the ultimate goal. Like, you can have an easy schedule and you can have an easy time with a flow of prosperity. So clearing out all of the, like, whether it's imprints from parents and ancestry, conditioning, karma, traumas, unconscious beliefs, conclusions, expectations, old contracts, vows, there's all this whole host of stuff I clear out that you just sit there receiving, so that you can then you can see new possibilities can come in, and you can choose more and let yourself allow yourself to receive more. So the receiving capacity is a really big deal too, particularly with people who are givers and caring and kind and compassionate and love people and want the best for them, like yourself. The receiving isn't as strong as they're giving. And so there's even a qigong move, right? Like, it's called the pushing and pulling of the waves. So I'd be standing with my knees bent. This is the pulling of the waves. And now I'd be stepping out. This is the pushing of the waves. Now I'd be stepping back, the pulling of the waves. So there's lots of things you can take from that movement, but one of them is, when I step out to give, there's no space in front of me to receive. When I pull back, like waves in the ocean naturally do, now there's space in front of me to receive. So if you just think in an energetic concept, there needs to be space for you to receive help, support, and more money coming in. So if your nose is to the grindstone all the time and you're focused on doing and forcing and making happen, that's all yang output energy. The yin yang, the black and the white circle. The black is the yin. That's where creation happens, in the womb, before the baby's seen, underneath the ground, before the seed is seen as a sprouting plant. And in that gestation period is where we really have all of our power to do the work within our consciousness, and thus our energy, to make the creation and be able to be in as fertile ground as possible to seed, so that when it does become physicalized, it's as robust as it possibly can be. So the process of taking somebody out of, like, forcing, making happen, efforting, working really hard to get, like, minimum amount of money, into more of what I'm talking about. I mean, it is a process. It's not slow, but it is gradual to come out of some and all, depending on how long you work with me, of the old stuff, the density, the back of the house consciousness that actually feeds what you do hear for your self-talk and creates what you do see as possible and what you don't ever catch as a new choice, a new possibility. Once we can tweak that and you start allowing yourself to make new choices, fifth chakra, from silent to self-mastery, then you're able to really have some of these outcomes that you're hearing some of my clients have. I can keep going. I mean, $8,000 of unexpected money. I love doing a clearing and activation around bringing in unexpected money. I've had one woman, she joins Magic Manifestation and Money Flow at Home Accountant in the Caribbean. Her husband walks in that first week of her joining, I think it was in 48 hours, and he hands her checks, unexpected checks coming in from clients who owed her money. Another woman joins and she's really close with her daughter. Both her and her daughter both get unexpected money in the following week. I mean, I'm not saying that you will automatically receive money if you join Magic Manifestation and Money Flow. Just to be clear, but it is a typical occurrence. Husbands will get raises. Husbands will get promotions when it's the wife who's working with me. Money does grow on trees. It's paper. It really does.
That's just honestly so amazing because, as I mentioned to you before, I've been doing energy work for many years. I've met a lot of energy healers, and very few, if almost nobody, have ever met anybody that has gotten results for clients in terms of like abundance and so forth that you have. And you're truly like unique and spectacular in that regard. I mean, you're the real deal. I wish like everybody was like you, or we have like 10,000 Alisons around the world.
Well, I'm working on it with the creating more vibration by great practitioners because they can get somewhat close results to what I get. Thank you for that, Daniel. And I remember the first time I had a free monthly call for 10 years every month to help during these times. And one woman came on when I opened up the call to people after doing clearings and activations and a transmission to start it. And she's like, Dr. Alison, you're the real deal. And when I first heard that, I was like, how do I respond to that? Like, I'm so logical in a very base way. It's like, of course, I'm the real deal. And of course, what I do works. That's why I keep doing it. If it didn't, I wouldn't, you know? So it was weird to feel the first, but I get it now because I've seen the industry that it's become. And there's a lot of people who talk a lot of hoo-ha, and I don't care. Like I have had my nose to the grindstone on this mission, on this path. And I know other people are coming in and they're hearing snippets and then they go out and create their own YouTube videos based on what I'm saying, and they don't know what they're talking about. And so other people come and listen to them and they don't know what they just received because it's unclear with what the person's talking about. And so one of the things that I'm really an advocate for is the misinformation in the spiritual industry to really get that clear. You don't want to do too much too fast. Like the free gift you guys get, breaking the momentum, super good for breaking the momentum towards lack, for example. It's clearing out the habituation, and you can reuse it over and over again, but only one time a day, please. And you can focus on the momentum behind lack one day, the next day, the momentum behind being more isolated and not really out in your community. The next time on more love in your life, blah, blah, blah. Breaking the momentum. I do clearings and activations on your free gift to first break, to clear the back of the house consciousness that's led to that becoming a situation in your life. And then other separate clearings and activations focused on bridging over into, okay, so now what can we create instead? Like really bringing in the new and the new possibilities for you. So it's really focused on everything I've been talking about at the most fundamental level.
Oh, that's like really amazing. Like, yeah, I mean, I keep wanting to hear more and more, but we're kind of like running out of time for this segment. Is there any like final message or like meditation or something you'd like to share with the audience in the last few minutes left?
How many minutes in are we?
We have like 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. I mean, I could whip through a clearing around there's not enough money. But if I do that, I don't want you all, because you're all all of you have different amounts of money, and all of you have worked at different levels on yourselves or not around your money blocks. So I don't want any of you to expect it to all of a sudden have surprise money come in. And then if it doesn't, you say what she does doesn't work, because it is a process and it's gradual, not slow, but it's gradual. So let me just listen and, excuse me, see what the best clearing and activation is to do to help this audience from the range of background they're coming in from. I really want to have more than enough money, but I'm hearing no, because some of you will nonetheless do what I just said. You'll measure, if you don't have more than enough money in a month's time, what I do doesn't work. And so therefore this stuff doesn't work. So hold on a second. I wonder what the version of you is like, where you would allow yourself to have an easier time having more than enough money that you can see signs of. Okay. So Daniel, I'm going to ask you to say, and this is a version of what you receive on your free gift. Daniel, I'm going to ask you to say, when you hear, are you willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation? Can you answer yes out loud, please?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not doing it yet, but when I do, and then those of you who are listening, you want to say yes out loud when you hear me ask that. Daniel's being a proxy for you, but you too say yes out loud. It invites in the energy even more because it's a free will universe choice, throat chakra. All right, so give me just a moment. I'm going to be silent, please. So I wonder what the version of you is like where it becomes easier and easier, ever increasingly for you to have more than enough money, for you to choose and to have and allow yourself to have more than enough money. Anything and everything that doesn't allow for you to find out what this version of you is like, would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation? So you say yes.
Yes.
So any and all traumas and their ensuing free-floating thoughts that are in any way limiting you from finding out what the version of you is like, who has an easier time ever increasingly with having more than enough money and choosing to allow yourself to have more than enough money, burning all traumas up and their ensuing free-floating thoughts hindering this in any way. All of the imprints from your parents and lineage in any way hindering you from finding out what the version of you is like, where you have an ever increasingly easier time allowing yourself to choose and to have more than enough money, burning all imprints up from your parents and ancestry hindering this. All conditioning from the trance of the masses hindering this in any way, burning that conditioning out. Ooh. All karma as appropriate, including but not limited to financial karma that's in any way hindering this, burning up that karma, please, as appropriate. And across all timelines, lifetimes, and dimensions, any and all contracts, oaths, vows, and swearings, including vows of poverty, vows of austerity, that keep you tethered to the old timeline where you work really super hard, you never have more than enough money, bringing you on, burning all of that up to bring you onto the new timeline now, where ever increasingly it's getting easier for you to allow yourself to choose and to have more than enough money on the new timeline now. And then across all levels of your consciousness, any beliefs, so that's at the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind level, conclusions, assessments, judgments, evaluations, any hidden or secret agendas, any and all entrenched thought patterns, storylines, rationalizations, justifications, excuses, expectations that you project out, so projections too. We're burning it all up now, whether I have named it or not. That is in any way limiting you from finding out what the version of you is like, or is ever increasingly easier for you to choose and to allow yourself to have more than enough money. Now, with the flames of transmutation, Yeah, let's activate the upgrade now. So any and all latent keys and codes within you and around you, including prosperity codes, abundance codes, wealth codes, inherent talents and ancient wisdom within you, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to become physically realized. Activating the upgrade now. Okay, so some of you may have been yawning, some of you may have cleared your throat, some of you may have been coughing, some of you may have felt tingles, some of you may have felt heat, some of you may have felt momentary pain. Although that's normal. How you doing, Daniel?
You know, I was feeling some type of shift going on in my body. I could feel some energy was being cleared. I
Yeah.
don't know exactly what was happening, but I felt like the energy was moving. That was really amazing.
Cool. Yeah,
Thank you.
I could tell you, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Look at that smile. Okay, job done. Gonna go now. Your
Yes,
root,
I do love to talk to you more, but our segment is coming to an end. So, was there any else you like to share with the audience before
ouch.
we
Your root
have to
chakra
say
got a good
goodbye to
clearing.
everybody?
Daniel, your root chakra got a good clearing. And as did the
Felt
back,
it.
yeah. As I mean, you're right, your whole body was, but also the back of your heart chakra, there was some help to help you receive more. Um, there was some stuff that got handed down around blockage to receiving in your ancestry. Not sure if you're aware of that. And your parents and lineage, uh, where your receiving could be increased. So something off the back of your heart chakra, which is the history, got released. Is that making any sense to you? It's okay if it doesn't.
Absolutely.
It
No,
does.
it does. It definitely resonates with me.
Okay. So I have no more words of wisdom except just enjoy the spaciousness you feel in this moment. And please know that when you feel light and spacious, that's actually you. When you feel tight and contracted, something not true is going on. And I don't mean to say like looming fear or induce looming fear when you hear not true, but this is how we're meant to feel. So when you're not feeling like this, self-mastery involves doing what it takes to pull yourself back into this space. I don't usually give advice. I usually give clearings and activations to help you do so. So you guys have this replay. You could use this again, as well as the free gift. I'm going to go
Well,
now.
thank you so much, Allison. This was really amazing, and thank you for that beautiful activation. It was really spectacular. I really felt that it really blew me away. So again, thank you so much for coming on the summit. And I know a lot of people in the audience got a lot from listening to you and receiving this energy activation for them. So thank you for everything you're doing and so much help. You're trying to help, heal the world. And my blessings to you and everything.
Daniel, thank you. It is a pleasure and an honor playing with you, my dear. And thank you for doing the summit and blessings to y'all.